Sri Sai Satcharitra, The Wonderful Life and Teachings of Shirdi Sai Baba, a modern rendering. Chapter 37. Blessed Baba. Blessed is Sai's life, and blessed is his daily routine. His ways and actions are indescribable. Sometimes he was intoxicated with Brahmananda, and at other times content with self-knowledge. At all times, even though doing many things, he remained unconcerned with them. At times he seemed quite actionless, but he was not idle or dozing. He was always abiding in his own self. Though he looked calm and still as a placid sea, he was deep and unfathomable. Who can describe his ineffable nature? He regarded men as brothers and women as sisters and mothers. He was a perfect renunciate and had total self-control. May the knowledge we received in his company last long unto death. Let us ever serve him with wholehearted devotion. Let us see God in all beings, and let us ever love his name. Chavadi Procession. Baba's dormitory has already been described. One day he would sleep in the Dwarkamai, and on the next in the Chavadi, a small building near the Dwarkamai. This alternate sleeping between these buildings went on until Baba's Mahasamadhi. Starting December 10th, 1909, devotees began to offer regular worship to Baba in the Chavadi. This we will now describe with his grace. On alternate evenings, when the time of retiring to the Chavadi came, people flocked to the masjid and sang bhajans in the courtyard in front of Baba for a few hours. Behind them was a beautiful small palanquin, and to the right a Tulsi Vrindavan. Men and women sang bhajans and played various musical instruments. Sai Baba was the magnet that drew all the devotees to him. Outside in the open, some trimmed their torches, some decorated the palanquin, and some stood with tall cane sticks in their hands and uttered cries of victory to Baba. The corners of the masjid were decorated with garlands, and rows of oil-burning lamps shed their light. Baba's horse, Shambhakarna, stood fully decorated outside. Then Tatya came with a party of men to Baba and asked him to be ready. Baba sat quietly in his place until Tatya helped him up by putting his arm under Baba's arm. Tatya called Baba Mama, as their relationship was extremely intimate. Baba wore the usual kafni, took his sadka under his arm, and was ready to start after taking his chilam and placing a cloth over his shoulder. Then Tatya threw a beautiful golden embroidered shawl over his body. After this, Baba himself put a few wood sticks lying nearby into the dhuni to keep it alive, extinguished the oil lamp burning near the dhuni with his right hand, and then started for the Chavadi. All sorts of musical instruments would then be heard, and colored fireworks went off. Men and women singing Baba's name started walking, some playing musical instruments, some dancing with joy, and some carrying flags and banners. The Baladars announced Baba's name as he walked down the steps of the masjid. On both sides of Baba stood people who held fly whiskers and others who fanned him. On the way, cloth was spread on the ground for Baba to walk on, while being supported by his devotees' hands. Tatya held his left hand, while Malsapati held the right, and Bapu Saheb held the umbrella over his head. In this fashion, Baba marched on to the Chavadi. The fully decorated horse, Shamakarna, led the way, and behind him were all the carriers, waiters, musical players, and the crowds of devotees. Harinama was chanted to the accompaniment of music, and the skies were filled with the name of Sai. In this manner, the procession reached the corner, and all the people that joined the party seemed well pleased and delighted. On coming to the corner, Baba stood facing the Chavadi and shone with a peculiar splendor. It seemed as if Baba's face shone like the dawn, or like the glory of the rising sun. Baba stood there with concentrated mind, facing north as if he was calling someone. Everyone played their instruments while Baba moved his right arm up and down for some time. Then Kaka Saheb came forward with a silver plate containing flowers with kumkum and gently threw them on Baba's body now and then. The musical instruments played their best during this part, and Baba's face beamed with indescribable radiance and beauty, which everyone drank in to the heart's content. Words fail to describe the scene and splendor of this occasion. Sometimes Malsapati began to dance, as if being possessed by some deity, and all were surprised to see that Baba's concentration was not in the least disturbed. With a lantern in his hand, Tatya walked on Baba's left, and Malsapati on Baba's right, holding the hem of Baba's garment. What a beautiful procession, and what an expression of devotion. Men and women, rich and poor, all flocked together to witness this sight. Baba walked very slowly as bhaktas followed on both sides with love and devotion. With joy pervading the whole atmosphere, the procession reached the Chavadi. That scene and those days are gone now. Nobody can see them now or in the future. Still, remembering and visualizing that scene can bring solace and comfort to our minds now. The Chavadi was also fully decorated with a white ceiling, mirrors, and many oil lamps. Tatya went ahead and on reaching it, spread an asana for Baba. Placing a bolster, he made Baba sit there and then put a good coat on him. Then the devotees worshipped him in different ways. They put a crown with a tuft on its head, placing garlands of flowers and jewels around his neck, and marked his forehead with the musk vertical lines and a dot, as Vaishnava devotees do. Then they gazed at Baba to their heart's content. Then they changed his headdress now and then and held it above his head, fearing that Baba might throw it away. Baba knew their hearts and meekly submitted to all their ways without objection. With these decorations, he looked wonderfully beautiful. Nana Saheb held the umbrella with its lovely pendants over Baba's head, and Bapu Saheb washed Baba's feet in a silver dish and offered argya, water that's offered to God. He besmeared Baba's arms with sandal paste and offered him betel leaves. Baba sat on the asana, supporting himself with a bolster, while Tatya and some stood near him, and others fell at Baba's feet. Devotees on both sides waved fans. Shama then prepared the chillum and handed it over to Tatya, who drew out a flame, then handed it to Baba. After Baba had his smoke, it was given to Malsapati and then passed all around. Blessed was this inanimate chillum. It had to first undergo many ordeals of penance, such as being kneaded by potters, dried in the open sun, and burned in fire. Only then did it have the good fortune to be in Baba's hands and receive his kiss. After this function was over, devotees put garlands of flowers on his neck and gave him fragrant nosegays and flowers. Baba, who is dispassion and detachment incarnate, cared nothing for necklaces of jewels, garlands of flowers, or other decorations, but out of real love for his devotees, he allowed them to have their own way and to please themselves. Finally, Bapu Saheb waved the arti tray to Baba while the musical instruments played. When the arti was over, the devotees returned home, one by one, holding their hands to Baba and taking his leave. When Tatya, after offering the chillum, scent and rose water, stood to leave, Baba said lovingly to him, "Guard me properly. Go if you like, but return sometime at night and inquire after me." Replying in the affirmative, Tatya left the Chavadi and went home. Then Baba prepared his bed. He arranged 50 or 60 palm leaves one upon another, and after making his bed, went to rest. We shall now take rest and close this chapter with a request to the readers that they should remember Sai Baba and his Chavadi procession daily before they retire and go to bed. Pranams to Sri Sai. Peace be to all.
You've been listening to a modern rendering of Hemadpant's The Sri Sai Satcharitra, the wonderful life and teachings of Shirdi Sai Baba, edited and narrated by Monika Penukonda. For more content like this online, please go to divinelineage.org, SaiFamily.org, and peacefires.org. To learn more about Monika, please go to MonikaPenukonda.org.